Nice to finally formally meet you.
Thank you, thank you.
I graduated high school May 26th of 2000.
I used to do a lot of film photography. I don't do much anymore.
Okay.
I'm the Hines County District Attorney, which makes me the top.
Hi guys, it's Faith Simone here.
I'm Amanda Wells.
Hi, it's Jody Owens.
Hello everybody, this is your girl Hillary Christian.
Hi, I'm Tom Beck.
Enjoying my evening with the Dirty Napkins crew. Make sure.
Let's go get some napkins dirty.
How does a young kid?
I think it's so critical.
Literally, you can say bad things about me, it can be false.
I had a number in my head.
What's one of your more proud moments? What would you say?
So every day is different. We're learning something new every single day.
She said, well, tried it.
There's always something burning inside you.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Dirty Napkins. Be sure to follow us on all social media platforms at Dirty Napkins. Until next time, it's your host, Tay. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Dirty Napkins. Tonight, we're at Monte Steakhouse in Byram, Mississippi. I'll be having a conversation and some cocktails with Melanie Sanders. She's an entrepreneur and has also made appearances on the new hit show Bell Collective. Let's go get some napkins dirty. All right, Mel. Well,
Hey.
I'm glad to officially start the conversation. We've done a little talking off camera,
Yeah.
but to get things started, before we jump into it, tell us who you are. Well, not even tell us who you are. Tell the people who you are. I know who you are, but
Okay.
tell the people a little bit about who
Yeah,
you
well,
are.
I'm Melanie Sanders. I'm originally from Vicksburg, Mississippi, and Vicksburg is a river city. I'm not. You're from here, right? Okay, so you might know Vicksburg. Anyway,
Pass through it
home-
every time I go to Dallas.
Everybody does. And most people, watching may have passed through Vicksburg. It's just one of those towns. But, we are known for the Miss Mississippi pageant. We're known for the Vicksburg Military National Park, which is, a big deal for people in the military. They know all about it, the battles and things. Of course, the Civil War, obviously. And then we bottled the first Coke. So, Vicksburg has a little history.
Got some history.
A little history there. And that's where I was born and raised. I love Vicksburg.
So how long, when you say you were born and raised in Vicksburg, was Vicksburg, is that where you attended all of your schooling through until you went to college? Because you went to Spelman, right?
I went to Spelman,
Okay.
yeah.
So all of that, you born and raised.
Born and raised, honey. I mean, I was in the church. I did I played basketball, ran track. Everything was Vicksburg.
Vicksburg.
Yes.
All right. And then, like I said, I was eavesdropping on you and Paul a little bit when we were getting set up, and you said, I'm just gonna do a little pageant trick to fix that.
Oh,
so
yeah.
have you participated in pageants and stuff like that?
I have. Vicksburg, living in Vicksburg, every little girl knows about the Miss Mississippi pageant, and it's under the Miss America organization, which is based on talent. And so I'm a singer, so that kind of was my way of getting into singing on a platform. And I entered the Miss Mississippi pageant, or actually I was Miss Vicksburg 3 times, and every time I won, I would, progress over to Miss Mississippi, but I never won. So under the Miss America organization, you have to be careful because you can age out. So I decided my last year needed to be in Atlanta. So I went and competed for Miss Atlanta, and ended up winning Miss Atlanta. I was totally shocked. And that started a lot of stuff.
I got you. So that's where it kind of all started.
It did.
And I wanna ask you a little bit about just staying on pageantry for a little bit. So it works. Just correct my ignorance here. So it works like you won Miss Vicksburg and then you competed for Miss Mississippi because you won Miss Vicksburg?
Right.
That's how it works?
That's a preliminary to the state pageant. And then the state pageant is the preliminary to Miss America.
Okay. I got you. Well, that sounds tough.
Let me tell you something. I have put my fork down.
Talk
please.
to me.
People think that pageants are a joke. But let me tell you something. Pageants are the most brutal thing, but they parallel life because you're dealing with people, you're dealing with interviewing, being on the spot, you're dealing with appearance, you know, your image. It's just it's the whole bit, you know. But it's tough, and you're dealing with scrutiny. You're dealing with people who feel like they know you, they judge you. So when I got through pageantry, American Idol, and all those other things I end up doing later on, peanuts.
Yeah.
Because that stuff is brutal.
That was
very cutthroat. Honey, I got stories. I can write a book about that.
That got you your tough skin,
Ooh,
huh?
and you gotta have that.
Yeah.
You gotta have that, you know? So yeah.
So how'd you end up in Atlanta? Was it just the move? I know you went to Spelman, but was it just like, I got to get out of Vicksburg? I mean, I've been here my whole life. I want something new, want some new scenery. Talk to me a little bit about that.
It was a little bit about that. You know, I really love Vicksburg. I love Mississippi, but I knew that I wanted to be somewhere that would allow me to do the things that I wanted to do in the entertainment industry. And that was Atlanta at that time. Like, you know, everything was about entertainment. So I went on over there, you know, I went to school at Spelman, obviously, but I just didn't leave because it was just too much going on that I was into, and it was a good time. Taylor, it was a good time.
You had a good time in Atlanta.
Oh,
That may be one of my favorite cities. I spent a lot of time in Atlanta. You liked it a lot, though.
If I had social media back in the Atlanta days, child, listen, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
It would have been a lot of followers, for one thing. I know
okay.
that.
You was wilding back in the day.
It was a good time.
I feel
You
it.
know, we did it all. And then the thing about Atlanta is, you know, people are obsessed with celebrities and things like that. But in Atlanta, you know, those are your neighbors. Those are people that you're interacting with all the time. So it's not a big deal, you know?
Like people that live in Atlanta, they're never really, I don't want to say never really phased, because obviously you have a lot of people that live in Atlanta that are definitely chasing, trying to get in with the next celebrity or whatever.
Right,
But
got
like
those.
the people who aren't really caught up in that, it's
Yeah.
kind of like, oh, it's such and such pulling up in the G-Wagon. I see it all the time, right?
All the
Such
time.
and such pulled up in the Lambo. See it all the time.
But you know what though? The new Atlanta is different.
So you do believe there's a new Atlanta?
Oh, it's absolutely
How
a
so?
new Atlanta, because the old Atlanta is what I just described. People were unfazed. You know, you might have a few people that come up in there and they might be a little bit, you know, like starstruck and stuff like that. But everybody felt that they were equally a star because everybody was doing their own thing. Everybody was happy and excited about life. And now we have come into this culture where everybody idolizes folks and things, and they want to be famous so bad, and they just do the dumbest stuff. And social media has created this crazy platform where folks just have a stage. Folks that's never done anything before, they finally getting popular or whatever, they don't know how to handle it. And so that is the new Atlanta. Old heads can always tell you about
You consider yourself an old
I'm an
head?
old head Atlanta. Yes.
All right, I feel that.
I'm a little old too, for real.
I doubt
I
it.
won't tell my age. No, I don't care, but go ahead.
Okay, I won't ask. They told me a gentleman never asked, so I'm not going to ask you your age.
That's fine.
I do want to know your take. You mentioned social media, right? Like, so do you think social media is like done more to harm people than it has to help people? You said like, oh, with this new social media platform, it's done this and that. What are your thoughts on social media?
Okay, I love social media. I mean, I don't do, especially a person that's in public relations, I really don't do as much as I should on my own personal social media. Like, I really do, you know, probably scale back a lot. But I love social media, and I think that social media is extremely powerful, and I think it's wonderful. But just like with everything, it's a downside. So you got people who don't quite understand the importance of it or the magnitude of it, and they will abuse it. And then they end up being abused. So no, it's yeah.
So
good and bad.
Talking about PR, and I agree with you, by the way. I think it's a double-edged sword. You know, I think it's helped a lot of people. It's helped make people millionaires, billionaires. Social media has, right?
So easy.
But it's also ruined a lot of lives, I think, in a lot of ways. You know, you got people trying to chase their next follower or chase their next Instagram, like whatever.
So true.
Neither here nor there, though. You mentioned working in public relations, right? I'm a bit ignorant to what that is. I've heard, obviously, anybody has heard, oh, she or he works in PR. Can you tell me what PR is? Like, what exactly is a public relations person?
Let me tell you, it's probably the hardest thing to describe.
Okay.
Because, and of course, obviously, I would be asked this. I have been asked 100 times.
Yeah.
But to me, it's about creating and communicating what the world will remember about you or about your business. And that has a lot of different layers, because underneath the public relations umbrella, you have the marketing, you have the advertising, you have the things that make the personas or the businesses pop.
Okay.
So public relations is all about, messaging, communicating, and putting those things out to the public. Now, how you do that, that's where you get into all of those intricate things like the marketing and the advertising things. I honestly am more of a brand manager.
Okay.
I think that, I don't even say publicist a lot, because a lot of the times when you think of a publicist is the person that is just completely focused on getting you in media outlets, placing you, getting you an interview here or on TV there.
So a publicist is, I can get you into the Breakfast Club. I can get you
Right.
into what's the local station, 97.7. I can get you in on the ready. Okay, so that's a publicist. So when you say you're a brand manager, then I'm assuming that's kind of exactly what it sounds like. Like,
yeah, you manage the brand.
Okay.
You make sure that those things happen.
So if somebody you don't know comes up to you and says, "Hey, Mel, I want you to be my brand manager," what do you do first? Like, what's your first thing?
Well, me, I always, ask them to send me an email. And I have an assistant. His name is Trey Harper. He is the bomb. Okay. And I let Trey, I've gotten to a point where I do like
this
people.
Is what I want to hear.
What? Okay.
You got to a point where you do like people. No, I'm listening.
I love folks.
Okay.
But this is very important. I tell people this all the time, especially clients who are doing things in the public eye a lot. It's not about being snobby or being in any kind of way uppity or thinking that you're better than anybody, but you do have to, at some point, establish a little bit of a boundary from all access that, everybody, I don't mind anybody come talk to me. I'm not saying that. But when it comes down to your business, everybody shouldn't have access to what you offer. I mean, or sure. I shouldn't even say shouldn't. I am gonna say it. In my line of work, that's just me, because you spread yourself thin, and I've certainly done that before. That's how I'm able to tell you that's just not what I'm on now, because you'll go crazy. People will hate you too, because you can't get to all those people. You can't serve people right if you are doing everybody's stuff. So I had to learn, scale back.
So that's a good segue. I guess I want to ask you, like, as far as your career as a brand manager or just as a public relations person, like, what's a lesson you learned the hard way? Like, what's something you like? I won't learn that again that way.
Honey, listen, I just had somebody. You follow your spirit. Now, everybody does not have a spirit of discernment, or are able to feel when trouble is brewing. But if you do get to a place in your life where you can feel folks out and feel situations out, go with your gut. I had a client recently, a former client, very quickly became a former client. He was a pastor, okay? A bishop.
Oh, you got to watch them bishops.
That's what everybody told me.
You got to watch them bishops.
I'm like,
they be balling a little too hard.
Baby, how you know? Okay, hello. And I've always known that, I've seen, plenty of examples of that. He has the Rolls Royce and all this kind of stuff. And, he's like, so what's your retainer? And I said this. And he's like, cool. And he cash apps me right away. And I'm like, okay, cool. Now, one thing he said, though.
Okay.
He said, I just want, I want you to get me on Oprah Winfrey, and I want you to give me an interview with Oprah Winfrey, and I want to meet Tyler Perry.
Some big asks.
And I said, maybe one day we'll get to that point. Like, okay, I hear you. Hey, it could happen.
Dream big.
Oh yeah, that's how I feel. Like, it could happen, but I would never say, sure, we'll get the, come on, no. So, anyways, 3 weeks went by. And he was not happy. He wasn't satisfied. He stopped taking my phone calls and things like that. And he had a whole bunch of assistants, like 6 women that worked for him. And they're all contacting me left and right or whatever. The moral of the story, let me get to the point. From the beginning, I had reservations. And I was thinking, well, this could be a good opportunity to help somebody. And maybe, But sometimes you gotta call a spade a spade. My daddy always told me that.
Yeah.
You know, look at a situation, really, assess it, and keep it 100 with yourself.
Yeah.
Can I truly work with this person?
Yeah.
Think about everything that he's told you about the other people he's worked with, he's fired, that he didn't like, that he wasn't satisfied with.
Red flags for that.
Red flags. So, that was a trip because, honey, let me tell y'all something about PayPal.
Tell me.
They'll take your money. I found out that he does these disputes or something like that with folks. That's what people told me. And child went and got my money.
From you?
From me. But I got it back, but still.
Well, how did you get into PR? Like, did you?
Oh yeah.
How did that happen? I know I talked a lot about what it is, what you do, and how. But how did you get into it? Did you just wake up one day and say, "Hey, I'm good with people. I'm good at to be a brand manager, you have to be good at managing people." Okay.
And messaging and, their whole packaging, Now, this is really good, by the way. I don't know what this is.
That's the stuffed shrimp.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's real
It's
good. I like
beautiful.
whatever it is they got on top. I think they
Honey.
said some type of like cream.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, it's legit.
And I'm telling you, I'm a foodie. I think I mentioned this to you.
You did. You told me you got a food blog.
Let's talk.
We'll talk about that.
We'll get to it.
So we'll definitely talk about that. Don't let me forget.
Okay. But I didn't even know I was doing PR. After I won Miss Atlanta, people started calling me left and right for stuff. And I didn't even know. But the experiences that I've had working with people and being in the entertainment industry and meeting all these different people and being in all these scenarios, it equipped me to be able to deal with folks who were in the public eye as well. So it was fun to be able to go behind the camera. That was fun for me. And I still like being behind the camera.
Me too.
Yeah.
I mean, if it wasn't for this, that's ideally where I'd live at, behind the camera. Like I told you, I'm a pen and paper kind of guy. I sit in my home office and I don't have to leave.
So you can really work at home.
Yeah, that's what I do. Like I just finished up my first book, but I mean, we don't have to talk about that. Yeah, nah.
That's bomb.
We're here to talk about you.
Oh, I mean, but I'm saying I love that. I can't work at home.
You can't?
I
can.
think I have ADD. I'm not sure. I need to get it diagnosed. I'm not sure.
As much as I love, that's funny. Yeah.
I'm for real.
As much as I love people, I like selective interaction with people. I take it in.
So you like that?
I take it in spurts. Like even when we do these seasons, it's just like, okay, we got 10 interviews, Taylor. When you gonna come to Jackson? Because I think I told you I live in Dallas or whatever.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's where I live at.
You live in Dallas. Okay.
But we always coordinate. I come home, we do this.
Yeah.
But anyway, kind of getting back on you.
Yeah.
So in Atlanta, one Miss Atlanta, partied hard in Atlanta.
Partied hard.
Yeah.
Worked hard and partied hard.
Glad social media wasn't around.
Glad.
Now, how do we get back from Atlanta to Jackson?
Let me tell you, I was so tired of having a good time. And that sounds completely crazy, I know. But I was starting to get a little nervous because I'm getting a little older. And, now my Atlanta girls and the people that I was with, nobody was married, no one had kids. But then across the country, I got friends and relationships in different places. People are settling down. And I was like, okay, this is getting bit,
Is that something you want or wanted at the time? Is that how you got back to Jackson?
I wanted that, I thought, but I wasn't sure.
Okay.
What I did want was to progress, and I needed to be making more money too, because I was just spending money. I was just having a good time.
Atlanta do that too.
Atlanta have you, I'm out to brunch all day.
Every time you off. Pull
Every
up.
time, all the time. And I'm telling you, so I had an opportunity to move to Miami. See, I thought I was moving to Miami, not
would've been
Mississippi.
just as bad.
Well, in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, when you're younger, I was, a little younger, a lot younger.
If you were cutting up in Atlanta, I have no way I'm buying you one gonna be cutting up on South
I thought I was gonna be at
Beach.
peace. I thought I was gonna have on my bathing suit, working out every day, and like doing yoga. Like I thought I was transitioning to a peaceful part of my life.
Okay.
So I was like, I'm going to Miami. So the weirdest thing happened. I ended up getting down there. So I had this bomb job.
Oh, so you went down there?
I didn't live. I went down there for a position, and they brought me down to interview me for this position, and it was this fabulous thing. They picked me up in this Bentley and all this kind of stuff. It was a regional director for a med
the
spa.
whole show.
So that's part of it. That's their PR. They trying to give you the image and set it all out. So honey, I went on down there, and I just knew. I was like, ooh. And the weirdest thing happened. So I knew, I was like, I'm gonna take the job. This is where I'm gonna be. And the guy, he says, okay, everything is good, but your salary will be a little different because you don't know Spanish. And the difference was $30,000 different.
That's a big difference.
Baby, I said,
And they didn't tell you that up front.
wait a minute, that's my question. I'm like, how did we get here? And that wasn't discussed.
Sound janky.
Very janky. And so, you know, but let me just tell you this. This is how it went. And it's Taylor, right?
Yeah, Taylor.
Okay.
Yep.
I had a literal thought. And it wasn't a thought, it was a message. It was God speaking to me. And I heard him say, you know, just it popped up, go home. Just as simple, go home. And I was like, that can't be right. But I absolutely feel that obedience and following that message, who I believe was God speaking directly to me, you know, in my mind, everything just opened up.
Yeah.
Everything, peace, job, all that.
It's funny you say that. Don't judge me. You like, damn, Taylor, you were eavesdropping for real. You were talking to Paul about your mind being a magnet. You were like, I believe your mind is a magnet. So I want to ask you. You just mentioned this about you felt like God was talking to you. You also said previously that you think your mind is a magnet or whatever like that. So do you believe more in like fate, or do you believe more in like that a person shapes their own destiny? Does that question make sense?
Oh, that's a good one. A question I probably have never even thought of before. Let me say, so you said, is it fate, or do we shape it?
Or do you believe a person shapes their own destiny?
So see, this is deep, because I do think that we have a lot to do with what we how we move, but it comes from somewhere. And I do believe that God. I am very spiritual now. I'm not at church every Sunday like I. You did enough of it in Vicksburg, huh? Yeah, I did all that. But
sipping that white wine.
This wine is good too. This is a good one. Yeah. But Taylor, I don't know. I do believe that God gives us the blueprint, and He lays it all out for us, and He allows us an opportunity to do what we want to do. But I do think that things are in divine order. I do believe that they are predetermined, and our life is set. So it's kind of that's a deep question. Oh yeah, girl, go ahead. On my board. Oh yeah.
And I agree with you to an extent, right? And to an extent, I think we're very similar on, I guess, I don't want to say religious. I'm more spiritual as well, right? Like I'm not a super big. My grandfather's a pastor. You know what I mean?
Mine was too.
I think it's like such a common thing in Mississippi. Such a common thing. Bringing up Mississippi, I'm gonna go to Jackson. So we talked about how you got back to Jackson, right? What are your thoughts? And this is not a trick question. Every time I ask this question to people, they think like, "Oh, I'm trying to get you to bash Jackson." I'm not. That's not. Let me go on record first saying I love this city. It's home to me. I'm born and raised, grew up in Jackson, thoroughbred Jackson.
Thoroughbred. Oh, you Jackson.
Yeah, I'm Jackson. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Went to Forest Hill, went to Callaway. Jackson.
Callaway. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I finished there. Anyway, now that that's been put out there, my question is, what are your thoughts on Jackson?
I'm going to tell you, I love Jackson. Okay. And I mean that, because Jackson came to me at a time where I was all over the place, and it completely centered me being back home.
I want to keep the conversation going on Jackson. So what have been, you gave me the positive, you know, what have been some of your frustrations then with Jackson, or have you had any?
I have had a little frustration. I know one thing I said to myself, if I move back to Jackson, I'm bringing a little bit of the big city with me. And one of my first clients was the M Bar, and that's one of my clients today. Okay. And when I came,
had a lot of nights up in there on some drugs.
Have you? Oh, that's good. Honey, we all about an experience.
That's why I ain't on social media like that.
And you're married, right? Oh yeah, I can understand that. Yeah. So coming and working with M Bar and bringing celebrity guests and things like that, that's my niche. That's what I do. That's what I love. That was my experience. But it becomes frustrating because a lot of people feel like that's they don't feel like they belong in places that are let me clear this up. M Bar is a place that everybody pretty much feels comfortable. But when you change a vibe just a little bit from what people are normally, what they're used to, they become a little alarmed. So when M-Bar's image began to shift a little bit, we did have a little bit of a resistance from certain folks, and that's frustrating because it boiled down to people just not, being used to change that I thought was positive, know. So that was kind of a negative in a way because a lot of people do feel like they want everything to stay the same in their city, in their, their local dwellings and things like that. But sometimes you got to switch it up.
Yeah, people don't like change.
They don't like change.
They do not. I'm people, by the way. I don't really like change.
You don't like change?
No, not for real.
Really? When's your birthday?
September. Why am I saying September 2nd.
So what's that? Is that like Virgo season or?
Yeah, I don't know much about zodiac.
Oh, you're not into that kind of thing?
Yeah, not really.
Oh, it's kind of fun. I love it.
I don't really buy into it too much.
You don't? It's kind of interesting.
Yeah. Can I get a little pepper when you get a chance?
Sure.
Thank you. It's behind. Oh, never mind. Hey. Yeah. I mean,
there's some food.
So two things. I'll let you do a little eating while I do a little talking.
Oh, I'm for it.
Yeah. So as far as your first question in the zodiac, I'm not real big into it. I've been told I'm a Virgo. Don't know much about what that means.
It's wonderful.
Are you a Virgo or something?
I'm a Scorpio and a Sagittarius. We'll get to that.
How you both?
I'm both.
How that
Moons and things like that. They changed the zodiac at one point. I started off as a Scorpio and the moons changed to something, and
Mind
now
blown. You already asked me. I'm like, I thought it was just one. Now you
that's what
telling
they
me.
say. I'm November 22nd. I'm in the cusp, but
That's what? That's like right around Thanksgiving, right? So you
some days I'm on Thanksgiving.
All right, that's not too bad. Okay,
So I'm crazy, child.
I'm not real big into the zodiac stuff. And then it's something else you said though that I want to talk about. You like, if you come back to Jackson, I want to bring a little bit of the big city feel with me. I think that's a really good thing, and I think we need more of that, right? Like, if we have all of these people that are continuing to leave and just better themselves in other places, like Atlanta is like another Jackson, Houston is like another Jackson, Dallas is like another Jackson. But if we all kind of make our money there and bring it back home, like I got some land here in Mississippi, and I always tell the guys I want to one day, like my goal is to build something on it, right?
Yes.
And I'm always like, if we could just keep, even like when K go to New Orleans, KP go to New Orleans, right? Like if we all just bring that flair back to Jackson, we'll make the city so vibrant again, right? Yeah, bring that back.
And that's the negative that you asked me about, the fear.
Yeah.
We are a city that has everything to offer. We have the people, we have the resources, we have a lot of things that we have to work on, but what city doesn't?
Yeah.
But we have to be open-minded, and we have to believe that we deserve to have the big city feel. But at the same time, it's not saying it has to be big city 100% all day, every day. You know?
Yeah.
Any big city, you can leave that scene and go to the next thing. But it's okay to build up what we should have, which is a downtown area that's bustling, a social scene, night scene. Those are things that I think are important and will bring people and keep people here.
So in your opinion, how long have you been back?
Almost 10 years. I just realized it.
Wow, okay.
I didn't even know until I thought about it the other day. I'm so used to telling people, I just moved back. No, I didn't.
You've been back.
I've been back. Yeah.
So do you think...
Oh, Lord, I'm dropping my wine.
It's all good. We'll get you some more of it. It's cool. Do you think we missing those things then? Like when you say like a bustling, well, I can agree with you on downtown. Like downtown is very drab right now. It's like, there's nothing down there. Except for, I was in Fourth the other day. They pretty cool. I like that spot.
Of course, I love Fourth. It reminds me of that, some of the lounges from,
I like that. Nice vibe, nice, good service, good drinks. I enjoyed myself. But do you think we're like missing that thing, like bustling downtown, like a bustling nightlife and stuff like that in Jackson?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. And I'm doing things with people. We have some upcoming things. Hopefully we'll continue down that road that will bring more to the city. I see it. She said you could cut it with a butter knife too.
This is a butter
and
knife.
You got the butter knife.
Yeah, they gave me a butter knife.
She wasn't playing.
She was dead
Go on,
serious.
Monte Steakhouse.
Yes, that's my steak knife over there.
Ooh.
They gave me a butter knife.
I'm trying to get up into mine too. Baby, this is some food.
I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, please do. It's okay.
But you were saying you're working with some people? You finish your bite first though.
Oh, okay. Let me talk about this food real quick. So,
talk to me about the food.
Ooh, So this steak is wrapped with some crawfish, crab meat, and something else.
Yeah, he hooked you up.
Very different.
Now what? And just for the record, I got this drink because you said it was a girly drink and I had a manly drink. So I was like, I'm gonna get the girly drink,
And I can get the manly drink?
and you get the manly drink.
Oh my God, can I get it?
What kind of drink is this? What is this? Do you
Okay,
know?
let's talk about this now. Now.
Cause I don't need to be mixing liquors too much.
Oh, okay.
I be getting. You know.
Look here.
I can turn into a wild boy sometimes.
I sense that's a possibility.
Yeah.
I feel it. That's a liquid marijuana,
Okay. I
also
see.
known as I think
I
they
see.
say Mary Jane
I see where
or
we at.
whatever. Well, I have banned myself from those at the M Bar. Everybody knows M Bar has the best drinks. Everybody knows that their 2-for-1 happy hour is, you know, you
I
can't
didn't even know they
compete.
did that. Show you how uncultured I am.
Honey, M Bar 2-for-1 on all drinks. So with that said, I've had a mini night where I've had 2 of those.
You reverted back to that Atlanta meal, huh?
Woo, the ATL meal came out, baby.
Social media around now.
Okay, and see that's the thing. And my mama, I always know when I'm acting up because I'm just myself. I don't know how to be anybody else, you know. And I'm gonna have my elbows on the table.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sip my drink. I'm gonna have, you know, I'm just, that's just me. You know, I'm formal to an extent.
Sure.
But even in formal settings with people that folks probably are trying to be prim and proper with, I do my best being just who I am. You know, and they can fall into what I'm doing if they want to or if not, because I'm not gonna conform to what they're doing because that's not how I roll. So anyway, that drink has caused me to, you know, have you ever been on Instagram and posted a story
Yeah.
and you woke up the next
You don't
day and
even
you
have
were
to
like,
finish it, but I want you to finish it.
yeah.
I know exactly where you're going with this. But go ahead. I want to hear you tell it. I want to hear
Why
you tell
did
it.
I post that? And then when your mama, my mama,
It's on Instagram?
and it's on Instagram and has definitely said, now see, that's a shame. You
What you
posting
doing
all
on
that.
Instagram, mama?
Mama.
What you doing on Instagram?
all that, look, mama like, all that toasting, all the drinks.
Not all that
Every time
toasting.
y'all go out, y'all gotta toast all y'all's liquor.
No, not on Instagram.
Yeah. So, on top, I had a little piece of fat. I couldn't do it no more. It's good. I'm just saying, it's a piece of fat up in there. I just couldn't do it.
Okay.
Anyway, but I have done it a few times, and I was like, let me not drink my liquid marijuanas or anything and post my Instagram stories.
Well, I understand that. Luckily, I'm not driving tonight, so I'm in good hands.
Oh, you all right then?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm in good hands. But I wanna ask you this question just about your career, right? Or not even your career, just about your life, right? Like, what do you think is one of the biggest sacrifices you've made? And think back on that sacrifice. Was it worth it?
I think so. My sacrifice has really been myself in terms of me being so used to being in the entertainment industry and being in front of the camera. Now, even though I enjoy it, it is a sacrifice because I've had other opportunities come about over the years where, you know, people want me to get back into the main, you know, being in front. And I decided to put that aside so that I could service my clients and help other people because really, I don't want my brush up to show. It is hard, and that's becoming harder for me because I've been kind of thrown back into the spotlight a lot lately, and it's a comfort zone. I don't mind it, but it's not what I was planning on doing. And when you have a business which is managing and making sure that other people in the spotlight are okay, you have to figure out a balance. So now I'm at the point where I'm like, I got to figure out this balance. I still got to be able to do my things, but I still have to be able to help other people with theirs and keep it on point too. So my sacrifice was I looked up and I wasn't doing anything for myself. Anything. And I'm talking about down to the personal stuff. Like my hairstylist told me this morning, she was like, you need to be coming here more regularly. Like, what are you doing? Like, and I'm like, girl, I don't have time to get my hair done. I don't.
You gotta do something nice for yourself.
You do. You know, I'm all about self-care and all that, and you know, but then you look up and you're so consumed in other folks' stuff that you look up
Forget
and your
about
stuff
you.
ain't done.
Forget
So,
about
you know.
I think though, you know, and I'm no publicist, obviously, and nothing like that. But I think to be an effective person to anybody, you need to be the best version of you to do that.
So true.
You know, so like, you need to listen to your therapist. If you think you need to spend a little more time, I'm not your therapist.
She is my therapist.
Your
Let me tell you.
hairstylist.
So weird you said that. This morning, I told her, I said, Carmen, do you realize that you're a therapist? She's like, girl, no, I'm not. I said, no. You are a therapist. And this is, you totally channeled that, because I actually said those words today. I said, you are a therapist to so many of us. All my friends go to this. She's our sister, but we all go to her for our hair as well. And she knows all our business. She gives all the opinions. But I told her just this morning, I said, honey, you are my therapist, her therapist. You're our therapist. She was like, oh no. I'm like, therapist. So you are 100% right, therapist.
So I've heard working in the entertainment industry. I've never really been in it. But I heard working in the entertainment industry can be very taxing and very demanding on like relationships. Like, have you felt the effects of that in your own personal life?
Honey, let me tell you something. That is a fact. I remember Oprah Winfrey said something a long time ago, way back in the 80s or something. I'm dating myself now. She was like, there's no such thing as a fact. That was something that, it was controversial at the time that she said it. It might have been the 90s, but
I disagree with that.
I do too, because that is a fact. I've been in the entertainment industry for a long time, 20 years, just put it like that. Thank you, girl. Appreciate it. That's Haley. Thank you, Haley.
Yeah, you're a generous person.
Okay, look. Ooh, yes, that's Sauvignon Blanc. But, Taylor, I have definitely, I'm not married, obviously, and I have had an opportunity to be married a couple times, but
heartbreaker.
Didn't work out. Yeah. And I have experienced with me stemming back, and I'm going back to how long I've been doing this thing, a long time, since I was a teenager. Relationships are very hard because a lot of people are so worried about you being in the spotlight, and what that comes, they're worried about other people. And the trust thing becomes I never, in my opinion, never gave anybody a reason to distrust me. But because they were worried, they began doing things. And when they began doing things, then they became untrustworthy because, obviously they're trying to, make themselves feel good because they feel like you're in the spotlight and they're, out in the shadows or whatever. I remember when I did American Idol, my boyfriend at the time, who, that's who I thought I was gonna marry. We were like engaged or whatever,
I did the whole thing, the whole show.
I mean, all that old stuff. He was great. I thought he was the one. And he actually, I told you about, you overheard me talking about being a magnet and all that. Okay, well, we'll kind of get back to that because he has a part of that. His grandparents were people that I used to admire when I was a little girl. Ossie Davis and Ruby Dee, the actors. When I was young, how does a young kid think about Ossie Davis and Ruby Dee? These are old, Black, legendary actors. So anyway, I used to have this thing about them that I just liked them. Ended up meeting him. He said that was his grandparents. It was like, whoa, like that magnet thing happened again. But anyway,
you the one.
I thought, and not just even based off that, it was just like, wow, this has to be. So he and I, we were very young, and I started doing a lot of stuff in television. I was in LA all the time. And, he just really did not trust me being out there without him and, all of that. And it was just like, boom, relationship gone. Other relationships over the years have been very similar because men, and you could speak more on this than I can, men typically do not really like for their woman to be out there in the forefront like that. You got to have a special type of guy that will be able to deal with it.
Yeah, and I'll speak to it a little bit.
Please do. Let's talk. Let's talk about it because I want to know what is up with that.
I agree. I think there are a lot of guys that don't like their woman to be out front, and I'm not gonna talk bad about those guys, right? I'm not gonna say they weak-minded or anything like that. But in a lot of ways, if we're gonna talk about me personally and how I feel, it never really bothered me. But that said, I understand in a lot of ways there are. So let me backtrack. Okay. So you got the guys that want to be all in your business and they want to be everywhere with you. They want to be what Suge Knight said. They want to be all in the video.
Oh, I had one of those.
All in the You got that, right? But with those guys, you get a certain amount of, I guess you could say, security, or you get a certain amount of affirmation that like, oh, I'm enough. He wants me. He needs me. Where on the flip side, what I've always struggled with, and even struggle with today as a married man, is like, by me being so, I guess, independent and not really caring. Like I don't care if my wife make more money than me. It don't matter to me.
Oh,
like,
I love it. Okay.
Don't bother me at all. I don't give a damn if you got 2 million followers, 4 million followers. I don't care. Right. But the flip side to that is, I'm seeing a lot of times, or it's always been kind of vocalized to me throughout my previous relationships of, oh, you're too nonchalant.
Yes.
You don't care enough.
Oh, that's me.
I want more. So how can it be you though at the same time where you like? So what? I guess what do you want?
Let me tell you about the nonchalant part. When people are rah at me, like, oh, you gotta go out of town, you gotta do this and this. I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, I'm not arguing about it. I'm like, this is what I'm doing.
You like, it's that.
That's just what I'm doing.
That's that.
And that's that. And then, but I'm accused of being nonchalant and, oh, you don't care. And I'm like, I care, but I'm about to go crazy. Have a doggone stroke over this now. I'm not doing that. But, you know, I want somebody who is very understanding of what I do.
I know you said you're in a relationship right now, but previously, how hard would you say it is to date you?
Well, I've never thought of it as being hard to.
Honest answers too, by the way. I just wanted to reiterate that this
is I love to be open about stuff like this. This is like one of my topics too. I love talking about relationships and stuff like that.
It's girl talk.
Yeah, but I'm glad we can talk about it, you know. And then I like to be able to bounce stuff off of men. I talk to guys all the time. I love it. But anyways, I don't think it's hard. I think that the hardest part would be to capture my attention and keep it. Now that's hard because shoot, I'm just not really a person that like focuses on folks too quickly.
I got you.
That's tough. The one who got it right though, let me tell you about him. Now he was crazy. Oh Lord have mercy.
He got it right though.
Baby, let me tell you what he did. He was so smart because I remember I was out in LA with my friend girl, Nene Leaks, from Housewives of Atlanta.
I'm familiar.
I was helping her. That's kind of one of the first people I worked with in PR.
Oh, cool.
And Nene.
It's a big first line, I would say.
Yeah. So we were out there for something she had going on. And so we all met out with a lot of other people. And he and I did not see eye to eye when we went to this dinner. In fact, he was downright rude. I'm Southern, so we gonna sit down. We gonna
Southern
speak to
Belle.
folks. He didn't speak. He's an old New York dude, so he all like, y'all are late, because we were late. It was a spider in the room, and I remember we had to like kill it, and it was this big to do, and that's a whole nother story. Like I got stories for days. So we were very late for this dinner, and the dinner was hosted by Lala Anthony. And of course, that is like, a dinner, a formal, we had planned everything. So coming in late was a little bad, because people are ready to eat and things like that. So we started off on a bad note. But by the end of the evening, he asked me about sharing his salmon with me. And I was like,
Oh, you lit up.
Okay.
You lit up.
That was good. Okay. Seemed kind of easy too, don't it? Because it's like, okay, that's all you gotta do, get this girl some food. Yeah, that helps. Okay.
Show a little effort.
So then the reason why I brought up Nene is because he was so brilliant, because a smart man knows you can get to that friend, that good girlfriend, you in there. Yeah. So the next day he sends, my favorite tequila at that time was Patron. Okay. He sent a bottle of Patron to me and a bottle to her the next day. Yeah. So I'm like,
she all in your hair.
And she's like, girl,
Peter Bomb.
Oh my goodness, all that. Yes, I'm like, okay.
You don't take him serious,
right? You know how girls do. But seriously, after that, my point in bringing all of these things up, he was so attentive, and women, we appreciate attentiveness. Like, he appreciates your greatness. Now, later on, things may have changed because, sometimes that can bite you in the butt. You are doing things in the public eye, things, and it goes back to what we talked about earlier. A lot of men kind of feel away after a while. But in the beginning, when he was trying to hook, he hooked because he thought of everything. He was just that guy.
we got that bad. Guys got that bad, going really, really hard up front and then kind of dying off, losing steam on the back end.
Y'all lose that steam.
I speak for all men when I say, yeah, it's a challenge. You know, it's a challenge, but you try to figure out a way.
I lose my steam too. My grandmama told me, if he changed, you change with him, and I just lose mine right on with y'all.
Okay. Well,
that's why I'm single, I think.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I know. No debate here. No debate here. Well, I know we gotta go ahead and start wrapping up. I'm enjoying the conversation.
I know, this is so good. Yes, I'm enjoying it.
But I just want to ask you, right? Like, you've been in the industry for a while, and not even just industry people. I don't want you to just give me an industry person here.
Yeah.
But who are some people that influence you, or who are some people that you're inspired by, and why?
My grandmothers, both of them, inspire me so much.
Okay.
The main reason is because they are such people. I speak specifically about my grandmother who passed, and I can highlight her because everybody says that we're so much alike. She never meets a stranger, but I aspire to be like her to this day, even though she's gone. She was a boss. She owned a cosmetology school, probably one of the first in the state to do that as a Black woman. She was tall like me, and she was not a needy person. Anything that she wanted, she figured out how to get it. And I'm not saying that she got everything just because she was out there just, I'm in the mud. No, you don't have to be in the mud all the time. If somebody want to do something nice for you, particularly men, that's okay.
Yeah, you can catch bees with honey.
Thank you. You said a word right there. Yeah. I don't think I am all about women being independent and strong, but I am also a woman that is not ashamed to say that men have done nice things. Yeah. And I think that we as women should embrace that, and we should make sure that that's something that we can speak on and be proud about.
Well, and too, in a lot of ways, I was talking about the last interview we just did. I was talking to her about this. In a lot of ways, women deserve stuff. And I'm not trying to pander. I don't want anybody thinking like, he's just trying to pander right now.
I don't feel that you are.
I think women deserve, and I think when you think about the totality of what women do, or what women go through, and then Black women specifically, how often you all kind of put your best interest to the side for men, right? Like, it's so many times where I got a ton of female cousins, right? A ton of them. And so many times they call me, hey, I need male advice. I just want to talk to you about it. And it's like, why? Well, if I'm just speaking as a man, but I'm speaking for you because obviously I love you more than whoever this dude is you dating, you putting him well before yourself, and you don't need to do that.
We do that.
You know?
We do it.
So I think when dudes want to buy y'all nice stuff, dudes want to trick a little bit, I say take it.
I think so
I say
too.
go for it. You know what I mean?
Too.
You deserve it. Take it. That's just my thought, though.
I'm glad you think that way. I'm so old school when it comes to that kind of thing, and I think that a lot of women are like, no. I feel like
a lot of women say that, but they like it.
They should, and I don't care what they think about me. I'm not a gold digger or anything like that, but I'm gonna tell you what I am. I am a person that believes that a man should have his stuff together. Yeah. I think that a man should be able to provide. I have a daddy who taught me that. I feel but at the same time though, Taylor, I'm not unrealistic. I'm not trying to say that a man has to just be balling like, some LeBron James or somebody like that. You know what I mean? It's not about that. Yeah. But you do have to be able to provide and want to provide, because this is the deal. If something happens to you, I'm gonna have your back because I'm gonna be able to provide too. Yeah, that's gonna always be a factor.
Fair enough.
But you're the man. I'm gonna let you do the man stuff.
I got you. Mm-hmm. Well, let me go ahead and wrap this combo up, and I really wish we could get down. Maybe I have to interview from a vlog or something.
Oh, anytime.
But I guess just to end this thing off, something I like to do, something I like to ask is, what's one piece of advice or just some words of encouragement that you'd give to whoever finds this episode or whoever watches this episode? What would you tell them?
I would say, live your life. This is a little quote that I kind of made up some kind of way during my debutante. I was at the debutante ball, and they said make up a quote or whatever for the program or whatever. And I said, I had a piece of advice that I kind of sort of gave myself in a sense. Okay. This was in the 90s when I was a debutante, and they asked us to provide a quote. And I said, live your life to the fullest because there are a million people out there who would die to live it for you. So what that means is, it means people will do anything to live the life that you have. And you shouldn't complain. You shouldn't be troubled or worried about your life because there are other people who would be so blessed to be able to have the breath that you have, the life that you have. So I think that that's what I would tell anybody. I live life to the fullest, and I mean that because, to me, it's like, hey, you never know when it's the last day. And it's like, have fun, enjoy, embrace it, be free.
Freedom is a big thing for me.
It's beautiful.
I need my freedom.
It's a beautiful thing.
Freedom,
We are blessed. We are blessed to be able to sit here, have this dinner, have these little cocktails, talk about life. It's a beautiful thing. And that's just something that I really preach. Folks probably think I'm so corny because I'm always, pretty happy and, but that's because I do appreciate life.
Your energy's good. I mean, I have to attest it. I like to think I'm a person with real good intuition. I feel people out pretty well. I mean, I guess that's what makes a good journalist, in my opinion. But
a great journalist.
Well, I thank you. But neither here nor there. To go ahead and wrap this up, I guess the last thing I need you to do is just tell the people where they can find you. Where do you want them to come, and tell them a little bit about your food blog while you're
okay. So I need to bring it back up more. I haven't really posted much on it, Taylor. So once again, I'm Melanie Sanders. You can find me at Melanie N Sanders on Instagram, and of course Facebook is Melanie Sanders. I have a food blog that I haven't really talked about. It's called Foodie Vision. I really wanted it to be like a food blog, like a YouTube for food. But anyway,
on behalf of myself, we really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy day. You working with all these big name clients, and you took an hour or so out of your day to sit down and really have a conversation and a meal with me. So I appreciate that.
Honey, thank you. I'm honored that you even asked to have me, little on me on the show. Like,
little on you.
I appreciate that.
Ain't nothing little about you. You 6 feet.
I'm kind of big. I can't even look. I can't argue. I am a little I appreciate it. I do. This is bomb. Like anytime, like for real, like even after the show, tell your wife she can come too, because I don't want this to come across me. You know how folks married folks, honey. You got to go and tell them, child. We can come together. Love to have a cocktail. Love to have a drink. Have some food, and we can always, catch up and chat. I appreciate this time, and it's just this is a beautiful thing. This is wonderful.
And one last thing we always like to do.
I get a gift.
You get gifts.
I like gifts. I told you.
We always here in Dirty Napkins, we always come bearing gifts. You know that. It's your host. I'm off the drink. We chilling. Anyway, Mel, I said, we got you a gift. Again, this is just a token of our appreciation. It's not much, but it's coming from our heart to you, saying thank you for taking the time out of your day to let us interview you.
Oh my gosh.
From me and the team here at Dirty Napkins, thank you.
Thank you, honey. This is out. And listen, I'm wearing it over my heart.
I know you
are.
So
and I'm gonna make it cute too. I'm gonna probably tie it to the side, wear it to the game. So folks
however you want to do it, we'd appreciate it. However you want to do it.
This is awesome. Y'all got a bomb. And then the name Dirty Napkins, like this is just bomb. This is so dope. Like,
I think it was a good conversation. I
I enjoyed it. I do. I really did. This is great. The food was great. Drinks, let's do this all the time. I'm ready.
All right. Well, I'm gonna get out your hair. I enjoyed it, but until next time, I see you. Thank you, Mel.
You're more than welcome, sweetie. Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed our conversation with Melanie Sanders. Be sure to follow us on all social media platforms at Dirty Napkins. Until next time, it's your host, Taylor.